Welcome to another episode of How I See It. This segment is all about how I perceive life, how I look at life, my frame, my lens for approaching business and life, which is alternative, which is not mainstream, which is counterculture, if you will. You know, it's a little bit different than how other people look at things, and it has really served me, these alternative viewpoints that I hold and the way that I look at life. And this episode, this video is specifically for young men, and it's about how young men are looking at the world and what is motivating them. It's external motivation versus internal motivation. It's really, really, really important to take a look at what's motivating your action and be deliberate about what's motivating your action, and not have that just be on autopilot or just conditioned viewpoints that you've received from society that are motivating your action. So let's jump into internal motivation versus external motivation, mostly aimed at young men. Hey, young man, under 30 years old, to be specific, you know why your relationships are failing and you're not where you want to be? Because your attention is on yourself and your performance, not on enjoying whatever it is you're doing. You see, men are sold that their value in society, we are sold as men that our value comes from success, from the more money we make, the more we produce, which creates this environment of men posturing and peacocking and balling out on Instagram and wearing gold chains. And look, I'm all about having fancy stuff and enjoying consumerism and enjoying having things, but not to impress other people, not to posture and look cool, but because you actually are enjoying whatever that thing is. I have a $2,000 skateboard I'm going to show you while we're at it. This skateboard is it's a boosted board. It's like, $1,500 or whatever it is. The point is, I'm not against fancy things. I think I get a lot of enjoyment out of this thing. I love this thing. I have it because it's a lot of fun to play with and to use, not because it makes me look cool in videos and I can show it off to other people. The thing that will serve you, I'll get this out of the shot now. The thing that will serve you as a man in society is to show up, be present, and enjoy what you're doing. Your sex life will be better. Your business life will be better. Your relationship life will be better. Everything in your life will improve if you stop having the focus of your life be to impress other people by showing off how interesting you are. Because we're taught as men that interesting sells, interesting wins, be the most interesting person, wear fancy stuff and tell cool stories. But you know what wins? Interested, being interested in what you are doing, interested in the people around you, actually consumed with and enjoying the people around you and what you're up to, not approaching it with some goal in mind and trying to get somewhere and trying to show off. And man, this is a problem for so many men. They don't realize that their whole entire identity and the way that they're presenting in the world has this backdrop, this sort of veil of is searching for approval, searching for being, approved of by their peers and recognized as awesome. And social media, the social media economy really plays into this, right? Because you see everyone's living their best life on social. This is me holding an iPhone. And so you want to, do something similar and show off. And it's like, man, that is a recipe for sadness and disaster, frankly. If all of your actions are motivated by attempting to impress your peer group, specifically other men, I notice, right? It's all about impressing the other dudes. And it's like, no, a better way to go is to enjoy what you're doing and have it be motivated by things that you actually desire. To check your motivations is really what I'm getting at here. Why is it that you want the fancy stuff? Why is it that you want money? Why is it that you want success and fame and women and whatever? What is motivating you? What is motivating those desires? Is it that you truly are interested in having access to resource that you can use to do things, right? Like I'm obviously very interested in wealth creation. I have a lot of people I want to take care of. I also enjoy having nice things, and money buys you comfort. It does not buy you happiness. You got to really hear that, young man. This is specifically for the young guys. I mean, I've been you, dude. I've been there. So money will buy you comfort, but it won't buy you happiness. And so you have to really understand and take inventory of what is motivating you to behave the way that you're behaving. And most likely, if you're like all the other young men out there, it's to be accepted by your peer group, to be seen as cool, to impress the opposite sex or whoever you're trying to impress, whatever it is. And so, you'll get further if you are motivated by something greater than vanity, frankly. That it's a more powerful force, the motivation to, and look, pain is a great motivator. I mean, a lot of people are motivated by, they don't like their jobs, they're doing something they're not interested in. Generally, people who want to be entrepreneurs, which is probably you if you're watching this, or who are entrepreneurs, are motivated by, desire for freedom of time, freedom of location, freedom of financials, etc. But like once you've made 75 grand a year, I think the study says, you don't get any happier. Right? More money does not bring you any more happiness. What brings you happiness is having purpose, being fulfilled, having intimacy and connection with other people. And the way to go about a life that is pleasurable is to be interested in what you are doing, to find it right and enjoy it, and enjoy the process of whatever it is, bettering your body, working out, working on your business. Like, do it from a place of joy. Do it from a place of approving of it and actually enjoying it and being present with it. And I know all this sounds cliche, but it's super true. And the real message that I'm trying to get across to you is like, check your motivations. What is motivating you? And be very clear and okay with whatever that motivation is. And look, if the motivation is to be accepted by your peer group, look, we are herding animals. It's okay to want to be accepted by your peer group. But if that's your sole motivation is vanity and acceptance, it can be tough to get where you want to go, right? It's nice to have a bigger goal than just people approving of you. Of course, we all want to be approved of and this and that. But you know what feels better than any outward approval is internal approval. If you approve of yourself and you find yourself and where you're at and your situation right, and you're looking at it as good and trying to get better, that is really what you want, because there's no amount of people telling you you're great that is actually going to make you feel great if you don't believe it internally. So this whole, this happens, I just see this with all the young men, is like they're motivated by a desire to make money to impress their peer group, because they are sold this viewpoint that their identity and their value in society is based around how much money they can make. And it's really could not be further from the truth. And you will end up potentially rich, but unhappy if you follow that path. And that's how I see it. Listen, I'm a big fan of understanding why we are doing what we're doing and being responsible for our actions. Myself personally, I want to understand what is motivating my actions, and I want to be in agreement with those motivations. And frankly, I'm not even against vanity as a form of motivation. I think that's okay. That's an okay reason to be motivated, as long as you're aware that that's what's motivating you and you're being deliberate about that, right? Like, I got a buddy, he's very motivated by how he looks. He wants to look good. A lot of people are motivated by how they look. It's not a wrong motivation, but it's good to be aware of the different things that are motivating us and understanding why we are being motivated by those things. So I hope that was helpful to you if you were a young man, or if you're not a young man, I hope that was helpful to you as well. Let's move on to the next segment.